So, has anyone else been watching Troll Hunters at all?
The cartoon series?
Yeah.
No, but I hear it's really good.
Yeah, it is actually really good.
And unfortunately, the lead was
Anton Yelchin. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Why? What happened?
Oh, he died last year.
Yeah, remember he got run over by his own SUV.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. The guy who plays Chekhov in the new universe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I guess played Chekhov in the universe. Do we know what they're going to do with him? Are they going to just retire his character?
What, in Star Trek?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So Del Toro's behind Troll Hunters too?
Yes.
Season 2?
And season 1.
Yeah. It's his baby.
Oh wow. I will have to look at this.
Yes, the Ron Perlman is the voice of the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got Kelsey Grammer in it. And I forget who else.
And from what I understand, for season 2, they have enough audio of whatever his name is again. I can't remember.
Anton, yeah.
Anton to continue to have his character in the series. So.
Yeah, and the other thing they said was that when it finally stops, they have a place where in the story the character changes anyway, so they could do something there. And I'm like I don't know, because voices get replaced on cartoons all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Steve Ewan's in it. Oh, cool. I haven't gotten to him yet.
Who's that?
Oh, shit. I'm blanking on his name. From Walking Dead. But
Glenn?
Glenn, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of Battington?
Yeah, he's in Voltron too, so he's doing a lot of voice work.
And working for Netflix, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, I hear they pay.
Yeah, and they give you the creative freedom to do what you want.
And
I mean, I assume they don't buy it without kind of knowing what you're going to do, but.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there I need to catch up on.
Yeah, I think it was their CEO that said they want at least 50% original content on their service. By the end of this year is what they said too. That doesn't make any sense. There's no way that's possible. Wow. Unless all their contracts with all the other places are drying up.
Well, okay. The thing is when you see the word original content, other people make it and they buy it, so it's not really they're producing it. It's like Hannibal was done that way.
Yeah, and I think it may be they may start doing. And oh, hey, Rob would know.
Hey, what?
They may start doing like co-productions with British series, because I know a lot of stuff from over there has been showing up as a Netflix original series over here. So, but I don't know if that's what the shot is. What's that?
Are you talking about BritBox?
What is BritBox?
Oh, BritBox is like the new online streaming thing that streams all stuff from the UK.
Oh shit!
Oh, I thought that was not working for us yet.
It's launched. I haven't meddled into it yet, but I know it's launched.
Because I've noticed a thing. I've noticed where, like on Amazon Prime, now everyone's now starting to do this. If you want Tribeca short series, that is now a thing. Criterion Collection is now a subscription thing.
Yeah.
Acorn
Yeah.
You know, all the Brit shows that are produced by Acorn, that too now is a subscription thing.
Yeah. And they were because the thing that Acorn realized is that they're like, okay, PBS is going to go with us to a certain extent
Mm-hmm.
with our shows, and BBC America isn't going to touch us, but we got a ton of stuff that people will want, and we got deep archives because they basically have everything that wasn't on the BBC, like all the ITV stuff, and they have a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, it totally makes sense because then what they could do is just mine this tons of hours and hours and hours of TV series. I think Pie in the Sky is on Acorn, and I think that what was their Hetty, whatever the hell, Hetty lady who's the detective. And they'll make their money off Doc Martin alone. That'll keep them afloat. And then I think they've got Death in Paradise as well, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But they've because I've seen Acorn, but I haven't subscribed to it yet, just because.
Now is that available through Amazon?
Yeah.
It's on Amazon or it's on my Roku. So
but you pay. Do you pay for that for Roku? Do you?
Yes.
Does the normal person pay for it through Roku?
Yes. Does a normal pay?
No, you do. I mean, don't get me into trouble. Yes.
Wait a minute.
I haven't done a subscription to it yet because I'm kind of waiting to see. There's enough shit on Netflix I'm not even caught up with yet. And then yeah. Thanks, Widge.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh.
Yeah, I need to Grace and Frankie. I need to go back and watch some more of.
I finally finished Westworld. Finally.
Oh, don't say anything. I'm 2 episodes away. Don't say anything.
Are you kidding me, Rob? Oh, jeez.
Can I first of all say that the person you need to blame is on this podcast?
Oh, I know.
Because I was going to spend 2 hours today, but no, I found the Desert Island thing that Widge sent.
I didn't send it. Someone posted it to my page.
Oh, I thought you sent it. Okay, well, whatever.
No.
Why? What was the Desert Island thing? What was that one? Which
Desert
one?
Island Discs.
I've been listening to the. Oh my God, Rob!
Great.
I know they are great.
They are great. There's tons of them on there I haven't heard yet.
I wanted to
totally
talk about Westworld and be done with it.
Well, when I get off the podcast, you could talk about Westworld because I'm not going to be on for the whole.
All right, then I got to tell you about what happened today. This is so funny.
Yeah, Doc posted it to my page, so blame Doc.
All right.
Okay.
So today, I do this thing. I go have coffee with my boyfriend at the Cool Moose Coffee Restaurant, and then I go and have breakfast elsewhere because I really don't care for the food. Anyway, there was this guy, and my guy's like, oh my God, that dress drives me crazy. The guy had a vest sweater on, but the tag was sticking out. I'm like, okay, I'll deal with it. So I went over, I said, excuse me, let me fix this. So I said, if anything, blame that one over there. He didn't want to come over. So anyway, the guy got up and he's like, so is this Florida weather? It's like, well, yeah, it just got kind of cold and stuff. He goes, oh, well, we can't go anywhere because we're heading north and everything's stuck. So our holiday's longer. So he started mentioning about St. Catherine's Island, which is off of Georgia near the Carolinas. And my boyfriend knows about it because it's a giant preserve. Okay. So the guy was talking about, there's a organization on his jacket called the Kashmir World Foundation. And I looked this up. So they do a lot of like tech stuff. They're trying to do, I guess, monitor sea turtles using drones, what have you. And we're like, oh, wow. And the thing is he started pulling his chair around to start talking to us. And we're like, my boyfriend's like, oh, really? Then on a dime, he goes, well, that's just a cover. oh, okay. I'm waiting for we're CIA operatives, whatever. He goes, it's a cover because St. Catherine's Island is a portal for the presidents of the United States to meet aliens. This was at 8:30 this morning.
Okay.
And
are you sure you weren't? Is that the point at which you said, "All right, where's the hidden cameras, asshole"?
no, my boyfriend he's a lawyer. He handled it really well without saying, "I'm not buying crazy today." He said, "I'm not buying crazy today."
No, wait. How did he say it? Because this is important. I think we all need to know how to deflect crazy.
He said,
"How did he deflect?"
Okay, he said, let's see. He's like,
and will it work on Danger Girl?
I would go with the entire, drones and sea turtles, but I'm not buying. He actually said, "I'm not buying the portal thing today." That's what. That's the best part, actually.
It is. See me tomorrow.
Today.
It's a possibility.
Yes. It was wow. I was like, I wanted to hear a little bit more, but it was our coffee time, and so I'm trying to find anything on this portal alien thing. Actually, the funny thing is, so here, my boyfriend does look at report sightings about Sasquatch and Bigfoot. And I told him, I'm like, you lost it. I said, it could have been St. Catherine's Island could be a sanctuary for Bigfoot. And you don't know now because you shoveled him off. You sent him packing.
Well, what's hilarious is talking about Westworld, he was just trying to get you on a side quest.
Yes, that's right. It's the side quest.
Just trying
Didn't
to
go for it.
Oh, wow.
Well,
That's awesome.
Well, the funny thing is my boyfriend knows enough about George Norrie and, that show that the guy didn't have enough information. So even if he called up George Norrie and said, "Oh, there's a portal," George would be all over like, "Well, what kind? Where is it?" And if the guy doesn't have the answers, he will get kicked off. If you're just gonna just
it depends. If it's a slow night, he'll keep him on for a while.
Oh, okay, all right, but yeah, we were.
No, I listened to George Norrie until it. I'm like, I don't want to talk about the economy anymore. We're here to talk about Bigfoot and UFOs and shit.
That's right.
And it just wasn't the same after Art left.
I know.
Because Art had a voice. I can't watch television and work at the same time, because anything that has language in it, words, English basically, right?
Yes.
If I'm listening to something in a different language, that's fine, but it engages my head. But Art's voice was just such, the tenor of it was just so soothing. Mm-hmm. I could work and listen to Art Bell in the background. Just so crazy. But I miss him. I know. He's apparently got his own. He's got a show again online, but I have not checked it out. But anyway,
so that was our crazy this morning. I was like, wow,
crazy. Yeah. Well done for the crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Widge, I'd like to apologize to you right now.
What'd I do?
Well, because you're on this, you're missing the Game of Thrones live concert experience.
Oh, where is that happening?
It's happening at the Phillips Arena right now.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I went and saw it on Sunday with my wife and kids, and it was freaking amazing.
Cool.
Did they reenact the Red Wedding, not live on stage?
They do, yes, basically. No, not really. So it's sort of
the audience.
Yes. Well, the what's his name? The help me out here, Rob. The guy who does the Ramin Djawadi, the composer that does all the theme music for Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
What about him?
he's touring with him, and he's the conductor, and he did mention that they did the hell's the name of that song? Kashmir. The song that they sang before they killed everybody
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. That one.
at the Red Wedding.
Yeah, I blanked because the minute you said Red Wedding, I started thinking of White Wedding by Billy Idol, and now I can't get it out of my head. So thank you.
Well, anyway, he did say that the doors had all been locked, and they went ahead and played the music that they played while they were murdering everybody. So the idea is that they have basically these huge screens, and they play music to the screens with a live orchestra, and they use whatever town they're in. They'll use that town's local orchestra, and then they tour with like 5 people that are like in the main band that do like the specialty instruments, and there's a singer and a lead singer, and then they take in one of the whatever their local town choir is. They'll use them. So in our case, they use the Florida orchestra and one of the local choral groups, Florida choral groups. Anyway, so they have all this technologies going on, all these special effects, strobe lights and actual fire effects and whatnot. But they play the music to these big projected screens, and they're like all sorts of different sizes, and the concert floor raises up and lowers, and it's like this really weird shape, but it was really well done. It was freaking. My kids have never seen Game of Thrones, so it's a PG. They say it's basically a hard PG-13 rated show, so there's no nudity, and there is a fair amount of blood, but they don't show like some of the up close gory stuff.
Do they show nudity?
No nudes, no boobies,
No conductor naked. Like the conductor isn't dressed up like a train conductor, and then he gets naked.
No, but they did do a thing where the lead singer walked across the stage, and they shamed her.
Oh, wow.
She took off like this cloak or whatever, and it was basically she wasn't naked, but it was like sort of a very see-through white gown type thing that you could the inference there.
Wow.
But it was really well done. It was really.
Did your kids
cool.
have questions?
My daughter said that she was making up her own story in her head because she didn't know, she hadn't seen the show yet.
Good for her.
She's of course the closest. So the Red Wedding was because someone served fish.
Okay.
So
you could also, John, just say, "Hey, I'm taking you to see a Kate Bush concert," and she would never know.
Nice.
So it was an experience. It was, and the best part. Okay, so we bought tickets like a long time ago, like back in November of last year when we first heard about it, and we got tickets on the A row, but on the third deck. It was at the Emelino Rio, which is where the Lightning play, the ice rink. So it was third tier, first row. And it was taking place like in the center, so it was like there's supposed to not be a bad seat or whatever. But apparently they didn't sell it out, and they because really several of my friends said, "I just learned that this thing was happening today," and I'm like, "Well, I don't tell you, I knew about it a while ago." So, in fact, Widge is one of those people I just found out that it was happening today.
No, I knew it was happening. I didn't know it was happening here today, but like on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, people have been posting little snippets of video, so I got to see kind of the configuration of the screens and stuff.
Yeah, well, so it
looked really cool.
So they sold out, or they didn't sell out rather. So they closed down the third level, and they moved us down to the first level. So we were like at M, which I started complaining to them. I said, well, I got A because there'd be no one in front of me, and it'd be right up on the edge there. And they're like, well, we don't have any first row. And then the lady was sort of getting, like, oh, maybe I can find something. And then the other guy that was helping her, he said, you really don't want to be on the first row. And when I got in there, I was at M. We were in M. So what? 15. I don't know, what is M in the alphabet.
It's the letter before N.
Yeah, that's right.
14th or 13th.
Yeah, so that's how far back we were. It wasn't really from the stage because they actually had floor seating as well, but and he was right. If you were on A, you'd be looking basically straight up most of the time to see what they were showing. But yeah,
Right.
they if you hadn't seen Game of Thrones, by the way, there was a lot of spoilers in this thing.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a fun time. It was really well done. I mean, the music was great, and like I said, my kids hadn't seen it, but my son, he said, I have no idea what the story is. I kind of get the idea, and he goes, and I thought politics these days was horrible, but he goes, but the music is fantastic. I'm loving the music. So yeah, that's what we're here for. So
Cool. Yeah,
I recommend it to the 8 other cities that's appearing after tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll do it again.
Yeah, I think the problem though is that they really hadn't got the word out appropriately. Again, because there's no reason why they shouldn't have sold out that place, because it's popular enough. I mean, maybe the price was a little high because it was $55 for third level. I can only imagine what it was on the first and second level. And here's the best part: if you got seats on the floor, you paid more money, but in my opinion, you got a horrible seat. Because first of all, you're in a folding seat, not like what they have at the arena in the first row, in the first section. But also you couldn't see anything because the screens were directly. I mean, they were above you to the point where you had no angle. So what they did for them is they put up basically, 30-inch monitors in front of each of the sections, so everyone kind of had to look around other people to see what was going on, because they didn't even raise that up at that point. So if you do go, don't worry about getting right down on the front. In fact, actually, even if your configuration's like Emily Arena, the second tier would be perfect, actually.
Yeah.
Middle, facing out. Don't go to the ends, because the ends also didn't have that great of a seat.
Pro tip.
Yep.
Good to know.
Have we talked since Oscars? I don't think we have.
No.
I don't think we have.
Won my Oscar pool.
Oh. What did you? Okay. So did you have La La Land or Moonlight?
I actually nailed everything.
Did
Wow.
you?
Yeah,
Well,
for the third year in a row.
Damn.
They
you got
Oh
Moonlight.
wait, so all right.
Or
so
did you
how
turn it
you-
off immediately after La La Land?
Yeah,
no,
how
even
did you?
even if La La Land would have won, I still would have won, because I
Oh,
was the only one that had the guy from Moonlight winning. And as great as Portman was, I just knew they were going to give it to Emma Stone. And I completely went with my gut, because as much as I loved what's great about La La Land, even though Hollywood loves movies about Hollywood, what's great about La La Land is it brings back sort of that spirit of the musical. It's in Cinescope, and it's big and it's bright and it's got the jazz in it and all that. But Moonlight is absolutely amazing on so many levels. It's just really a compelling film all the way through. And one of the things that I think a lot of people have had a problem with La La Land, I mean, although this is Missouri, so there's people who have a lot of problems with Moonlight. But one of the things that people didn't like about La La Land is that some people get lost in the whole jazz thing. They just like, well, I don't like jazz, I'm not going to watch it, and it's just like, so I think some that normally would be in a younger demographic that would see that probably didn't, because one, they don't have a traditional, like, it's a musical. What is this? They were like, there were people when we first saw it, 2 rows ahead of us, like, is this thing gonna be like this all night? Oh my god, you know. It's like, yep, it's gonna be. You know, hate to see what happens when you see the Wizard of Oz. You know, so it had that whole nostalgia thing going for it, which I pretty much figured. The other thing, and I hate to say it, is because Hollywood has been so battered for this minority thing. I'm like, they're gonna beat us over the head with it this year. But the only thing I do think that I think they did a couple things wrong, but I think Denzel, having seen Fences, which is a balls to the wall, 2-hour exercise act between Viola Davis and Denzel Washington, right? I really think Denzel was better than Casey Affleck, but I knew Casey Affleck just had so much momentum going in. Then they have to honor that, because they always try to find ways to honor every film, sort of, which is one of the weird things they do wrong. And as good as Casey Affleck is, and as much Manchester by the Sea, Denzel Washington, that is a acting clinic. You know, and I'm familiar with, I mean, I'd read Fences, but I'd never seen it as a play. But it is absolute balls to the wall ride in acting. It's amazing. It is an acting clinic in the same way that, you know, when you go to see a film like, you know, Star Wars, and it's all like, okay, this is a lesson on how to do special effects or sound. This is that equivalent in terms of like, this is the craft of acting, and it actually makes you feel good that like people are acting in movies again as well. So Kimmel was great.
Yeah, Kimmel did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, we political jokes, but we didn't get them beat over the head, which was good. The In Memoriam was kind of weird. There's a lot of stuff they left out, but literally everybody died this year, so they can't get that right.
And one person they had in there who was not actually dead. So
yeah.
Who was that?
Well, what they did is what they did is they showed a woman who was dead, but they put a picture of the wrong person.
Oh,
okay.
And she was in the audience. This Australian choreographer died, or costume or something, and they showed a picture of her, but it was actually like, oh, this is her assistant who's in the audience. You know, they actually showed her like on TV too. It's like, uh-oh. I didn't hate the thing. The thing is, it's just become so, they're so true, you know, predictable and easy. I mean, Jan and I have to go to this fundraiser thing because we're involved in the film festival here. So we just like, okay, what's at the prize table that we can, you know, get for Fun Fest? No, I'm kidding. But after a while, you're like, okay, I know where this is going. You know, it's to the point now where the bits between giving out the awards is much more fun than the awards. Sadly. Yeah, and I could have done without Sting. But that's just me.
Oh, it's like the one time that I was there in New York and saw the Tonys live. I was like, man, if you showed all because they had like during commercial breaks, they were showing funny videos on the side screens and stuff. I was like, if you showed this stuff as part of the broadcast, your audience would go up because this shit's funny.
Yeah, but whatchamacallit wouldn't approve. The advertiser, our advertisers would not approve.
I think the Tonys is the award show I would want to go to the most. If you just sit at a table, but you know,
yeah, if you could drink with everybody.
Yeah. And the Golden Globes is kind of
they get lovely, wonderfully soused at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
My God, yeah.
There's a picture I saw online that I wanted to send to Rox. It's a picture of like Billy Crystal and Vincent Price at the Golden Globes.
Wow.
I mean, just weird shit like that happens at the Golden Globes. You know, it's just like, oh, here's a picture of like Evel Knievel and the guy from Fantasy Island. You know, there's just all kinds of crazy shit like that when you watch the Golden Globe.
Oh yeah, wait, it was that. Who was that one chick that was in the West Wing? She was like in the bathroom. And,
Allison Janney? No.
Yeah, and it was Robin Williams kept trying to now. She's in the bathroom. Go get her.
Yeah. But I mean, the Oscars are kind of predictable, and I see it just because Jan and I really like movies.
Do you have an Oscars show? Do you have like your favorite food you eat while
we go to
watching it?
I would love to stay home and just do it, but we have to do this fundraiser thing that we go to. And it was great this year though, because I got to hang out with a couple of people that were really nice at like the silent auction. Oh my God, Rox, I'll tell you about the silent auction in a minute. All the cool stuff at the silent auction, because rich people don't buy shit. But anyway, so we stood at the prize table and hand out like, would you like this book? What do you? Oh look, here's a book on on finding whales. No, I like motorcycles. Here, So I get to give books out to people who have absolutely nothing. The big thing was like, get somebody who's outside their comfort zone, give them a book or a movie that would match to get them exposed to something new. Because if you basically hand out cards, had like Idris Elba and he won, you could come up to the table and pick a prize, and people like pick stuff. But if they have questions, right? And so they get books and DVDs and just tons of just like shirts and and you give it away. So I did that, but they let Janet do the greeting. So when people would come in, Janet would greet. It's like, oh, thank God I don't have to greet people, because I was terrified. It's like, oh yeah, you're here for the free bar, The Rocks, they had a silent auction, right? So
Yes.
The first thing we got was Janet and I got vouchers that we could take to the symphony before the end of the season and get tickets. So we went the other night and we saw symphony, which you would have loved because it was 112 musicians, and the stage was so big they had to open the doors and put musicians in the lobby.
Wow.
It's the only time I've been to the symphony is unscrewing things on their horns, and they're putting weird shit on the end. It all looks like fucking Dr. Seuss instruments, right? And they have that really long thing that they like. It's like almost like it looks like it's a big long like horn. It's really long and it curves up. You always see it in like those like they had one of those,
like the Ricola commercial, one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then they had 4 harps, and they had one guy whose job was to play like a big giant sheet of steel, and then he had like gongs, but each like gong was a smaller size of the one in front of it, and it was hanging on like it would look like a costume rack, right? And then he played like the triangle, and I was telling Jan, like, that's the kind of gong thing we could get at home because it's on wheels, and she's like, no. So we got that, and then we got vouchers for like season tickets for Repertory Theater here next year.
Nice.
For like $80. Yeah.
Wow. So what did they play? Benjamin Britten? What big piece did they play?
They did Beethoven's second piano concerto first, and then they did the Alpine Symphony by Strauss.
Wow.
I was gonna say John Cage.
Yeah, but they're doing all the John. I'm gonna try to go back next week because they're doing all the John Adams pieces this year, and that's been really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was cool. So we got that at the silent auction, and then I got a poster for a couple. Like they had like some, actual film posters. Like I got a Mad Max poster, which is great. It's been sitting around for a couple years, and no one wanted to sign Mad Max poster. I'm like, I will take your signed Mad Max poster. Thank you very much.
Oh, who's it signed by?
It's like a cast thing.
What's that?
It's
the whole cast.
It's like my house one.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Now was it the first Mad Max or was it Fury Road?
It's Fury Road.
Oh
shit.
You're in danger, Rob. I will go ahead and let you know. You might want to watch out. Widge is coming after you now.
That's okay.
I don't have any room on my walls at this point, so I'm perfectly willing to.
I have no.
Break into Rob's house and stare at it.
You can.
Oh my God!
You for now, Rob.
You put up artwork at your house?
Yeah.
A bit, yes.
No, Widge.
A bit, yes.
Oh.
I've got
Oh,
the
okay.
I've got the
See, it's gotten
my favorite, but the zombie children's playground up in the up in one of the guest rooms.
Did you get the map up yet?
No, not yet.
Ah,
Oh, I have a map. I have a map up. Nice.
I gotta get it.
no,
I gotta get it framed.
the map. The map.
I gotta get it framed.
Yeah. Janet
The map
refers
of
to
what?
now as the National.
The
Ge-
map of time, of course.
Of course.
Oh, nice. That's much cooler than mine. Yeah, Jan's referring to my room now as National Geographic room. Because she's got all this weird shit. And then, like last week, I went to a yard sale, and the guy was like, it was an estate sale, and the guy served in the Pacific Theater in World War II. So it's like, ooh, I want this. Ooh, a map of occupied Japan. I want this. You know.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ooh, swords. You know, I mean, it's yeah. So, but
How many
so
swords
anyway,
you get?
I didn't because those were actually really expensive. But I was looking at them,
Oh.
and I was trying to figure out how to display them, and like because I'd take them down and play with them, and it was just. So I'm not allowed near
That'd be
shark.
bad. You'd be,
I'm not
you'd be opening the
allowed near-
mail with them.
I'm not allowed. You know, after skeet shooting, I'm not allowed next to anything that shoots munitions or like hacks people. So it's just not good.
Okay, what happened with skeet shooting? Did you shoot
Nothing.
your lawyer in the face?
No. I went with actually I went with Rox's my friend who studies meteors. He's a physicist. His dad is a world class skeet shooter. So we were shooting, and it was just I had fun just saying, pull before they actually said pull, and then he would just end up shooting his gun off in the air. It was great. It was hilarious.
Oh my God, he probably hated you.
Just mostly off the gun. But yeah, so anyway, enough of that. But getting back to the Oscars, I think the thing is about the Oscars, the stories this year were mostly pretty good, I think, for the most part. So, Rox,
Yeah,
did you see
I
Kong?
have a lot of films I need to see, especially Moonlight.
Moonlight's really good, and the Apartment is really the Iranian film is really, really amazing. That won best foreign film. Rox, have you seen Kong yet?
No, it's playing around the corner. Is it good?
It's better than you think it is, but the end is great. After the credits thing, I get all excited about because they're doing with the Monster Universe what they did with the Avengers, which is going to be really interesting to see how they do it.
Oh my God! So does Sam Jackson show up and recruit Mothra? What?
Ooh, Mothra!
Yeah,
Mothra!
Well, it's
kind of.
Educated guess.
Mothra!
Kind of. No, you don't actually see Godzilla, but you just hear the roar. And you hear, oh my God! It's like it's the Toho roar. It's not the fucking new one.
Wow! I used to have that as my ringtone.
Hey, I had that as a ringtone.
For my phone.
But yeah, so it's actually pretty decent. It's like a war movie. It's set in 1973, and there's all these guys that are like leaving Vietnam, and so it's like this, and then King Kong as one movie.
Huh.
Well, it's the movie that I wanted. Because when I saw Peter Jackson's King Kong, I said in my review, if you could have just taken the Skull Island sequence and made that into a film, and I would have been fine. And so when I first saw the announcement about this, I was like, "Holy shit! It's Christmas!"
It really is. And Kong looks great. The graphics great. It's pretty solid. Samuel Jackson has a couple of Jurassic Park jokes in it. It's funny. Riley is comic relief without being Jack Black in it, so that works. Yeah, it's actually solid.
Speaking of which, I take it you guys have seen the the trailer for Edgar Wright's Baby Driver, right?
No.
Yes.
Oh, Rux, you got to see it.
It looks really good.
Oh,
It
it
looks
looks
really
so
good.
good.
It does look good.
Oh, look. It's the old new
It's
guy.
Big
Ah! Baby Driver. Is there a trailer out for this?
Yes,
I will-
that's what I'm talking about. You got to see it
All right.
because the cast
Yes.
the cast also will please you, as well as the trailer for Atomic Blonde, which has made me very
looks
very
really-
happy.
That looks really good too. I didn't know
Holy
much
shit,
about
it
it.
looks so good.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron just basically breaking people in half
Yeah.
with Toby Jones and James no, God, what's his name? Shit. I had names. What happened? I had names. Where did the names go?
You lost.
You
me.
know, Professor
Toby
X,
Jones.
the young Professor X.
Oh, McAvoy.
Yes, thank you, James McAvoy. I was getting caught on James Purefoy because I'd seen the an interview with Michael Kenneth Williams talking about Hap and Leonard, and I had not realized that he took the role so that he was like, "Hey, I can get James Purefoy to be in this," and he and James Purefoy apparently like best friends.
Nice.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff coming out that looks really, really good. But
Yeah, I'm actually lot to look forward to, perhaps. And the new Wonder Woman trailer still looks good.
It's
Oh
still,
my,
yes, it
yes.
still looks great.
yeah,
And
I'm going to see Kong tomorrow.
oh, John, you're gonna love it. Let me know after
Yeah,
you
I
see
know.
it.
I need to do that soon. I must do that soon.
Yeah. Yes.
I've heard good things about it. I will tell you, I saw the Red Turtle this week and despised it.
I didn't like it either.
The Red Turtle.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's animated. It's a little slow and it just kind of meanders.
it's the new Studio Ghibli, and yeah, I was
Oh, okay.
I felt so pained that I didn't like it too. It just
Yeah.
really hurt. It just kind of muddles, you know.
I got angrier at it farther away from it. Like when it ended, I was like, well, okay. And then I went with some people and we all talked about it. And like the more we talked about it, the more I was like, no,
Yeah.
this was a very flawed film with a very flawed plot. There's something that happens like towards the beginning of it that makes you dislike the protagonist, and then you can't really get back.
Yeah.
Mm.
It looks great though. To be fair, it looks great. But
It
it's
is
just,
party.
but it's just yeah. It's a little
I'm-
watery.
I'm one of 5 people who didn't like Spirited Away. So,
Oh man.
You're allowed.
I know I'm weird. Yeah.
It's okay.
So how you been, JJ?
Not bad. I don't think I've talked to you guys in forever.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence me asking. Have you gotten out on parole? What's happening?
Every time I get a notice for Weekend Justice, it tends to be a day where something goes horribly wrong. Last time you guys recorded, I was planning on being here and ended up working like a 13-hour day. So
Oh, yay.
things
Oh,
just sort of
Those
happen.
are fun.
Yeah,
Sorry.
especially when you don't expect them.
Oh yeah, those suck.
Why'd you have to work a 13-hour day?
Because of the type of job I have, sometimes you get to leave when when time comes to leave, and other times you have tasks you have to finish, and that was a task day.
Hmm. Now, did you get paid for all 13 hours?
Yes, and I even got to take a partial day later in the week.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
I remember what those were like.
Yeah.
And you guys have probably already talked about it, but I also saw Logan last night.
I have not seen it, and I need to.
I have not seen it either.
Oh, it's great.
What I will say, is that I have said for quite some time that I think Hugh Jackman is like Christopher Reeve in the fact that they are the embodiment of their roles, even though their roles are not as good as, or, the parts have not been as good as they are in them. If
Yes.
that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Christopher Reeve was an iconic Superman, but really, the Superman movies are in, if you look back at them, they're fun, but they're kind of hit and miss. And Hugh Jackman has never phoned in a performance as Wolverine. This is the first film that warranted his performance.
Wow.
In my
Which is
opinion.
good, because previously the most worthy film that had him in it was
Yeah.
First Class, where
First
he
Class.
had one line.
Yep.
It's a great line, but
And
I'm pleased to hear that.
the girl they have in it is just incredible.
Yeah, the only thing
Oh,
I fear. Oh, please.
No, go JJ.
The only thing I fear is that they're going to take the wrong mess. Hollywood loves to take things and just
Absolutely.
process the information all wrong. And it's not that we want gritty or violent or R-rated stories. It's just they made a good movie,
Or even just
and it
old characters.
yeah,
Same characters but old.
because people are like, this is proving that people will go see an R-rated hero flick. Well, Deadpool, but
Yeah.
Deadpool was a good movie, and this is a good movie.
Yeah, they don't get it. And they won't get it. But what can you do?
Well, we'll get a rated R Super Soakers
No, I'm
as opposed to the rated X version that we have already.
whoa.
What's going to happen is we're going to get a hard R violent Batman movie, and everybody's going to wonder what the hell happened and why the market fell out on it.
Yeah.
Well, which
Well,
you
Batman
could
would,
potentially do one, because I mean, one of my favorite bits of a splooge of justice, or whatever it was called, was the fact that
again,
the
that's
Batman
a rated X
fight-
version, Widge.
yeah, the Batman fight was brutal as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't overdone. It wasn't, hey, let's try to make this brutal as fuck. It just was, and it was awesome looking. So
Where I feel they're going to fail is the story and the movie around it.
yeah, which is the the sole thing that I think worries me about Wonder Woman. Well, all the DC stuff really, especially now, because Affleck, God love him, he was in Daredevil. That was not his fault.
I thought he was perfectly fine in that movie.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. It's just again,
But the movie was horribly written.
the film was shit around him. It's like Thomas Jane and the Punisher. You're a great Punisher. The movie is shit around you. But I worry about all the DC films for that reason, and I especially wish that there would be a good Batman film with Affleck in it, because I thought he was a great Batman, a surprisingly good Batman. Because I knew he was going to be good, but I didn't expect to like him as much as I did, especially with the film being such shit around him.
But I'm surprised that I haven't seen anybody cut up footage from Hollywoodland and Superman versus Batman and just have Affleck fighting himself.
You know what? That is surprising, actually. Get on that, internet. What the fuck?
No.
Oh my.
Rob left. We can
Oh,
talk.
yes, what-
Oh wait, JJ, have you seen Westworld?
I have not watched the last episode.
Ah!
I'm done. I'm gone. Done. Done.
That's okay. I can't stick around for the whole thing tonight anyway, so you'll have time when I go.
No. I'm done. I'm done. I have to. Man, daylight savings time. I hate daylight savings time. The first.
Oh, no, it's
couple of
crap. It's absolute
days,
crap.
Gosh, I don't know. Let's see. I didn't see Logan. I did meet Agatha Christie's grandson over the weekend.
Okay. That's cool. How
It
did
is
you manage
cool.
that?
Okay.
So he was in town promoting, and we went to a luncheon with him, and he's promoting the Grand Tour, Agatha Christie Around the World with the Queen of Mystery. And I haven't looked this up because I was researching other stuff. So the Agatha Christie juggernaut, I think has a grip on, you know, how well they handle licensing and stuff. Well, it's interesting. He actually explained which book out of Agatha Christie was really meant for her descendants, you know, to make money off of. Well, basically they're all making money off of, you know, everything she's ever made. Let's see. She traveled extensively. She learned how to surf while in Honolulu. Let's see. So he glossed over, it was interesting, he glossed over her 11 days that she disappeared after her divorce, and
Right.
she just sort of had a meltdown and was living under an assumed name at a hotel. So he kind of glossed over that, but he really enjoyed, you know, he really loved his grandmother and stuff. So let's see. So the Mousetrap is the longest running play ever, correct?
I believe that's right.
So they're making money off of that. So they're actually licensing new Agatha Christie-ish stories based on some character that she has written. As you guys may know, Acorn, Rob's off the phone, has done a new adaptation of Witness for the Prosecution. It's very much darker, more adult themed than the Tyrone Power and Charles Lawton and Elsa Lanchester. Totally different characters. And I just saw that over the weekend. So this book is really cool because it's chock-a-block full of photos and stuff from her traveling. And it's her letter writing to her mom and stuff. So that is really, really cool. I've been reading too Richard Burton's diary, and it's something I've been wanting. And I'll tell you, that man is so catty.
Is this the one you stole?
No.
Oh,
no, I
okay.
didn't steal it. No, I didn't. No. So
You seem to be saying no a lot.
I know. I don't know where that came from. I actually have a receipt for it because it's for research.
Is it handwritten in your handwriting?
Yeah, it is. But his is really cool because it talks of, you know, he talks about everything, and he is preoccupied with money, and he knows how much he needs to make to stay in the lifestyle he is accustomed to. That around the 70s, actually, I was reading in March of 1970, that him and Liz will no longer garner their $1 million, you know, fee. You know, it sort of went down to $780,000 per film, and but it was also the beginning of him. This is how doctors are in the 70s. So he goes to a doctor to get a full checkup. He's there overnight, and the doctor tells him, you know, you have an enlarged liver. You need to stop drinking for 6 months.
Oh God.
Now, if this had occurred now, it'd be like no alcohol for the rest of your freaking life. But it's the 70s. So it's like, yeah, you could recover in 6 months.
Nice.
So, and he's catty about everybody. He goes to Frank Sinatra's house, and they sort of sponge off of him for a number of days. And he's like, yeah, he's a nice man, but he's probably really a bore if you had to live with him. So, yeah, this guy does not. He really nails. Yeah, he even was, talking about Rex Harrison drunk, before a party,
Yeah.
So he's like, I can't, he's such an elegant man, and yet he's so drunk. And, he gripes about Liz a little bit, who he calls E in his diary, that it takes her to read like one mystery book like a month and a half. And he finds that appalling.
And it's a Nancy Drew book too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, but so the grandson is Matthew Pritchard, because Agatha Christie had a daughter, and then she had this son and everything. And I did ask. I said, "So, what is her work ethic? How did she work during the day?" And it's funny. She follows the sort of same path of writing that like Stephen King does. They get up really early. They write for a number of hours. She stops, thinks about it, and then maybe rewrite in the afternoon. So that was really interesting. So, but yeah, New York Times gave it a really good book review, review of it. So this, I think, came out like last year before. So it's from letters from around the 1920s. So anyway, so I have an early morning. So I'm going to go because, everybody has watched or not watched Westworld, and I was hoping to be done with it. Anyway.
I got to watch it again.
Are you?
Yes. Well, I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because Cosette finished it after I did.
Yeah.
So I blitzed through it. And then when I would walk through the room,
Yeah.
I'd pause and listen to a conversation, and everything was different. I mean, it wasn't one of these things where these shows where you go, oh, the gist of this scene means something completely different. It's like, no, 80% of the dialogue now has a double meaning once you've seen the whole show.
Huh.
No shit. I mean, every time I walk through, I would just be amazed. Like, how the hell do you pull that off? That's amazing. So, but yeah, I am totally going to watch it again.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well,
I know I'm crazy. No.
I have other issues with the show that, aren't that. It's just, it's the issue of world building I have.
That they did it too well?
No. Oh, really, John? You go to these theme parks.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me?
I don't go to those theme parks.
Not
No.
No, well, not now. Maybe in the future.
Hold on. Wait a second, Rox, before I explode here. Okay, good.
All right.
Sorry.
So,
Delayed gratification.
all right. How much? I know that they said early on in the show, like it was $40,000 a day.
Right.
How much really do you think it costs?
I don't know.
In this fictional world where
In this fictional world that, yes, I know, but it's something I do.
This is
We
like
talked
my
to Amelia-
sister, whose number one complaint about Walking Dead is, who's giving them all haircuts?
She's got a point.
No, she's got a point, but I'm like, so that's what you have the problem with? That's what you have the problem with?
it's the people also that want to know where people go to the bathroom and start on the Enterprise.
Well, yeah.
She wanted to know when they go to the bathroom in Walking Dead. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you really want? hang on, before we go and fight these zombies, I have to take a shit. I mean, that's really, that's what's missing from this show for you.
I would say, yeah.
I am a little surprised they haven't
you
gone to
want
a
the German-
Costco yet, though.
I know, because you
you-
know what? I posted it. There's a giant Publix bunker not too far between here and Gainesville, from Jacksonville and Gainesville. I'm like, this is the place to go.
Well, they
Because
did go
it's-
they went into a really big Sam's Wholesale looking place at one
Oh
point.
no,
That's the
no.
one where
Here's the thing. What you don't realize. What you don't realize, which is
we don't have time to go through all of that.
no.
Pick your top three.
I mean, the thing is here's the thing. There's the giant Mongo storage facility. Then they
Right.
go to the distribution centers where the trucks go. This giant place that I posted houses hell the food, all of it. I mean, that's where you hole up. Is this giant bunker? I mean, who knows? It's probably the size of the
Well-
Pentagon or something. Yeah,
So
that's
again-
another thing is, oh, well, no, too many zombies. But that would be the place to go, is the Pentagon.
What I've thought about is that you have to remember that just as in The Walking Dead, the humans are the problem. And
yeah.
and wherever you think is the most awesome place to go, there are going to be other people who have that idea, and they are going to disagree with you having it. So, like the whole, I'd go to Walmart. Well, okay, for everyone else would be going to Walmart too, and so you just have to think about, which I have done way too much. How do you balance the perfect location? The perfect location would be one where you don't, where no one actually knows you're there. And I actually found
Sometimes
one.
you want to go where no one actually knows
No.
you're there.
You guys probably know what this is. That in somewhere in Florida, there's these areas of trees that grow so close together that they're impassable. I mean, it's like a marsh with just impenetrable tree lines.
Wait, where?
That's where I hide. That's where I hide all my porn.
I know, the magic porn tree.
The magic porn tree.
That sounds like the worst kids book ever. It's the
we
magic porn
discussed. I know we discussed this though, a while ago.
The magic porn tree?
Yes, circle. The kids know because whatever's up on the website now is probably around that episode.
I was going to say it was long enough ago that I think I was on that episode.
One more time, JJ.
It was long enough ago that I think I was on that episode.
Yeah, no, I think we finally caught up with your first appearance, actually.
All
Too
right.
bad.
On that, no, I'm going.
Okay, be that
Going.
way.
I am.
I will say this, Widge.
What?
The last place I'd go look for guns is a fair. So, I mean, there is that. I guess you're not caught up on
Fair?
Walking
That's
Dead.
crickets right there. That's crickets.
Did you
Sorry,
see-
no, I'm not caught up
have you
on Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. For some reason, inexplicably, they find a crap ton of guns at some broken down fair where I'm sure at some
You
point
know they
somebody's gonna
can't
explain
use them.
it.
They have little foam things at the end.
No, they're.
Corks.
I guess you're not caught up either. No, they're actually.
I haven't been caught up.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious if they all had the cork rifles.
So was this a
Holy
Scooby Doo fair or an abandoned
They
fair
were-
that was run by the Joker?
And we
were
would have gotten away with it
military-grade
too if it
weapons.
hadn't been for that deputy sheriff and his kid.
Yeah, I also am not up on The Walking Dead.
All right, bye.
Gotta find a picture.
Okay, bye, Rox.
Now, did you see in the chat that I posted someone did put together a YouTube of
Yeah, that might be why I responded to you in there.
Oh, that. Oh, I thought you were responding to my beautiful rendition of the Cheers theme.
Oh,
Oh, I see it now.
That is.
but I
I
would
didn't
say
get. I didn't watch
looking-
it, so I don't
Looking
know.
at that trailer just made me remember how bad the Zack Snyder DC movies look.
Yeah, it's
Because
So-
Hollywoodland actually looked better.
Yeah, because it just goes from a movie that looks like a movie to a movie that looks like you're watching it through a brown filter, a colonoscopy camera.
nice.
See if I can find a picture of this carnival gun thing.
Have you guys watched any episodes of Legion yet?
Oh yes, I'm 2 episodes in.
It's about where I am too. It's either
I am
a great
digging the shit of it.
yeah, it's either a great show or I'm a little disappointed. If that makes
What?
any sense.
No,
I either truly love it or I'm a little disappointed. If it's doing what I think it's doing, then I'm very excited. If it's not doing what I think it's doing, then it's a more traditional X-Men type series of like, hey, let's all come together and make a team and learn how to fight.
I can't imagine that's all it's doing.
I don't think so either, but on the surface, that's what it looks like. And that's what I'm saying. If they drop the ball that way, then I'm a little disappointed. But if they're doing something more interesting than that, then I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, no, I am digging the shit out of it between the music choices and the palette and the costumes and the sets, and it's got Gene Smart, who I adore. So yeah,
And- And it looks like what has to be the Shadow King in the background, which I'm really liking.
I'm not sure what that is.
Has to be the Shadow King. Has to be.
Well, see, I never read the Legion series, so I was just because I'd forgotten there was one, because there was one, right? I'm not making that up, right?
Well, I think this
Okay.
is based on the series X-Men Legacy, which was it was a Legion series. And truth be told, I have no idea if the Shadow King was in that. I'm basing it off of the fact that he was sort of the main bad guy for a while in the 80s.
Okay, no, that's a good guess. But no, because my initial thing was they're making a series out of what?
Right.
Really? No, I think. Now, how far in are you?
2-3 episodes.
Okay.
I think there've been 5. Then I've watched 3.
Yeah. No, I think I think even if they're doing the whole X-Men team thing, which I do like the powers of the other folks, like the memory artist.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool. I like his character a lot. I'm almost like, because one of the things I remember about Legion was he did have multiple personalities
Exactly, and I think that's the key to the whole series.
that manifested themselves as different, full-on different personas.
Yeah.
And with their own powers, if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering if I haven't already seen them. You know what I mean?
We're on the same boat, and that's if they're doing that, then I am fascinated by this series. If they're not doing that, then they're really missing a chance to do something different and fun.
I can't imagine that they're not doing something, because you're right. You would be missing a trick if you took this and you made such a point of, because in reality, we don't know that any of this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that you can get away with anything at this point, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Precisely.
So yeah, no, we're on the same page, because I remembered that and I was like, And can I just say, I absolutely adore Aubrey Plaza. Absolutely 100%.
She's great in the show. Yeah.
She's great. And the other place she's great is the Lin-Manuel Drunk History, where he did the story of Hamilton. She played Aaron Burr.
I've actually not really done much of the Drunk History thing.
Some of them are really good. That one's really good. Oh God, I can't think of her name. They've had her on there twice, and both times have been amazing. And the other great thing that's amazing about it is when they get someone in there like, Jack Black or Michael Cena or someone who's just like, you go, oh, you're in this, okay?
Right.
You actually signed up to lip sync with someone drunkenly telling history. I respect that, actually.
Yeah.
And of course, now there's a UK version.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Nice for them to steal our ideas.
not quite as good as Drunk History yet, but Drunk History took a little time to get going, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of stuff across the pond, have we talked about Taboo yet?
I don't know Taboo.
It's Tom Hardy's series that aired over here on FX. It is really good.
I didn't watch it. Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, it's he plays a guy who comes back to London after his father dies, and everyone thinks he's dead. He's basically been lost in Africa, and he comes back with huge tattoos all over his body and acting like a crazy person, a very focused crazy person, mind you. And basically shows up at the funeral and freaks everyone out. And the father owned a very important piece of land that everyone wants, and he basically has shown up to claim it and throws everyone's plans completely out of whack, from the British Crown to the East India Company to his half sister's husband, to everything. And it's just so good and brutal as fuck. He apparently came up with the idea with his dad. Tom Hardy did.
The part about killing his dad being dead?
No. I'm sure they probably came up with all of it, honestly. But no, that's really good. And I'm very pleased that they've come out and said there's going to be a second series of it.
Still
even
taboo.
Though, what's that?
Still taboo, or more
It is.
taboo.
Taboo
Taboo-er.
too. Boo harder.
Electric Taboo.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. What else?
What's going on in the world of comics, JJ?
World?
Of comics.
Oh, in the world of comics. Sorry. It's I don't know that I've been following anything recent. I've kind of fallen down I never read Grant Morrison's run on X-Men, so I've been reading that.
Oh, it started so well.
Well,
Wild Sentinels. Holy shit.
it's funny because I'm enjoying it as Grant Morrison, but I'm not enjoying it as X-Men. Although now that he's established the school, I'm enjoying it better.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when he was doing the X Corporation stuff, I was like, this is really great X-Men stuff. But when you have, or excuse me, that's great Grant Morrison stuff. But when you have, when you consider like, the X-Men are, this guy turns into metal, this guy has claws, this guy throws ice, and then you go, this guy has a son, and where where most people have a mind, and you're like, oh yeah, that's Grant Morrison.
Well, that can be fun.
Oh yeah, it is, but it just wasn't very X-Men to me. I mean, Zorn is just, I know that later he becomes a huge kettle of fish, and I know a lot of that stuff, but it just sort of it felt very weird to me. So and then I've also been sort of I don't know, I was just thinking a lot about the character Warlock recently a lot, and so I'm going back and reading some old New Mutants just to remember that comics can be like fun and joyful, and and things can be fun.
Yeah, that's some of my favorite stuff on that was the Asgard crossover with X-Men. I thought was really good.
Right.
And the Demon Bear sequence.
And right there, you're dealing with two of my favorite, I will say, comic artists, because you've got Sienkiewicz on, or Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz. Sorry,
yeah,
I had to remember
yeah.
I had to remember his Twitter signature.
Twitter
Sienkiewicz.
handle, right? I know. Honestly, until then, I had no idea how to pronounce his name, and I had been doing it wrong, and I feel terrible.
Same here. But yeah, so you've got Bill Sienkiewicz, and then with
Arthur Adams.
Arthur Adams on the and it's got one.
Heck yeah!
One of my favorite little throwaway jokes was Warlock turning into to Gumby and sort of talking to Danielle Moonstar's Pegasus and going, "Pokey."
Yes. I honestly remember that.
It made me very happy, especially since one of my the first time I ever found Arthur Adams was the Gumby Summer Fun special he did with Kamiko.
Right.
And so that, so it's like, hey, we're back to Gumby, yay. And I see over in the side, John wrote early Iron Fist reviews. Yeah, I hear they're terrible.
Yeah, they've some of the biggest complaints are there's nothing to really care about with these guys, these characters. Of course, it starts this Friday as we record this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They've only seen the first six episodes, as I recall. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
The other thing that they complain about is that it's obvious that I don't know what the actor's name is, but the guy who plays Iron Fist,
Finn Jones.
Yeah, doesn't know martial arts to save his life, or at least it looks like he's incredibly slow. So, that's a problem.
He looked good at the trailer. Oh, that's sad.
But I also know that when it comes to that kind of stuff, I like to enjoy things, and so I'm gonna go into it. I'm gonna go into it with a sort of an open heart and hope it doesn't suck. But
Oh, yeah, same here.
A couple of people did point out though that early on in at least those first 6 episodes, he's not wearing a mask or anything, so it's hard to replace him with a stunt double that might actually, be able to bounce around and kick some ass, right? So,
but a lot of while you did have bits where, like, God damn it, I used to have names. Murdoch, Charlie Cox. Thank you. Fuck, and I love him. I don't know why I'm not remembering his name. There's a reason why he got as fucking ripped as he did, is because they like to use them for as much stuff as they can and as much stuff as they're willing to do. So if he's not, and the thing was about Murdoch and Luke Cage is they were completely believable, and it was seamless. Where if you did shift to someone else. The only time when it could be blatantly obvious was the hallway fight in Daredevil season 1, and I didn't care because I was enjoying it so much,
Yeah.
So,
I think just the whole the concept of Iron Fist, especially in the Marvel Netflix universe thing. Iron Fist it's a big leap to go from where they've been. It's been very ground level, very fight crime on the street. Luke Cage was incredibly neighborhood centric and ground level, and now you've got mystical rich kung fu kid.
Yeah, I think the closest they've been was the Elektra bit in season 2 of Daredevil.
Well, Jessica
Even though they
Jones
did
was
have,
a leap, isn't it?
Well, it's still superpowers, but not
Purple Band.
But again, he still had powers as opposed to having a magic powers.
Yeah, and they toned Purple Man way down. I mean, not only did
In
they
some
not
ways,
make him
they
purple,
toned it way up in other ways. Holy shit! I mean, he was much worse and scarier in the show than he was, at least in the run of Alias that I read.
right? But if they had made him, say, if they'd colored his skin purple and stuff, it would have been.
Oh yeah.
into it.
No, they did a really good job of making it make sense.
Right.
But no, I think they've actually from introducing Madame Gao, isn't that right?
Yeah.
In season 1 of Daredevil, and setting that up and having Stick in the background of all this stuff. I think it can be done. I just don't know. I mean, again, I just don't know what they've done. And I'm with you, JJ. I'll go into it looking to enjoy it. And in fact, the stuff you're talking about on Luke Cage is some of my favorite bits.
Right.
Is the fact that it was so centered in that neighborhood, and you had things that would happen, like people running around wearing hoodies with holes in them.
Yeah.
So, all of the Netflix series, Marvel series, and this is going to be in defense of what's going on right now. All of them have suffered, and as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think I might know why, have suffered from bits where it sort of meanders, where the story sort of meanders and doesn't necessarily go anywhere. Now, what I'm thinking is happening, actually, as I was sitting here thinking about it, was that the issue is that we can watch them back to back to back to back, and so we notice that sort of lull. Whereas if it was 1 hour here and then had to wait a week, that maybe that 1 hour wasn't really as bad as comparatively to the previous one that had a hell of a lot of action. The next one didn't. So maybe in this case, because they've only seen the first 6 episodes, maybe all the exposition gets out of the way. I mean, because Luke Cage had a lot of exposition all the way through the series.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they get rid of all the handle all the exposition up in the very front end of Iron Fist, and it happens to be that the last 6 episodes are the most phenomenal 6 episodes we've ever seen in our entire life. We don't know.
Part of what makes me enjoy maybe part of what makes me enjoy these more than some people seem to is I don't have the patience to shotgun like that. So I'll watch like an episode or maybe 2 and then I I'll walk away. And so maybe
I can't binge it all at once. It's only when I get to the end of something or near the end where I'm like, okay, I've got to find out what the fuck happened. Like I did the last 4 episodes of Westworld pretty much back to back because I was like, 1, because I didn't want anything else to get spoiled, and 2, because I was like, I just have to know what the fuck is going on. Same thing with like the first season of 12 Monkeys. You get to like the last 3-4 episodes and it starts to put on its crazy hat and dance around, and you're like, oh fuck this, what the fuck are you people up to?
Now I will say, when we got to the last like 3 episodes of Hannibal, we doled those things out like they were well, like they were the last 3 episodes of Hannibal. We like we would watch one and we like, okay, we're gonna walk away and leave that there for later because once we finish this, it's gone. It's like the last Girl Scout cookies.
Nice.
We have some in our freezer right now, and they will stay back there for a while.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of Hannibal, and I couldn't deal with it. It seemed so. I don't even remember my full reaction at the time. Just going, I don't. The guy, Will Graham,
Mm-hmm.
the character. I was like, he's felt way too over the top for me.
Well,
And maybe that evens out, you know.
Well, one of the things that makes that show interesting to me is there is not a single performance in that show that works outside of that show. With exception maybe of Mads Mikkelsen, because he makes Anthony Hopkins look like Jack Nicholson's Joker, to quote my girlfriend.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he takes, he just really brings the like calm intensity. And so, but yeah, all the performances on the show, I mean, even Gillian Anderson is overacting. But somehow in the weird sort of syrupy rich world of that show, it all works for me. But your mileage may vary.
Oh, yeah. I know, it's like I can't get into a lot of television comedies, especially like family sitcoms.
Amen.
They just annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I have a dysfunctional family. Why would I want to spend time with yours? And I hate all of you.
Right. I mean, yeah. So it's like the comedies that I find that I enjoy, I hold on to pretty dearly. Like I finally got around to watching Community, and I'm enjoying that. Yay! Took me forever to watch Archer, and I'm enjoying that. Yay! I'm a as a comic book nerd, I'm trying to watch Powerless, and I get the feeling there's a good show in there, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, it's not that. No. Mm-mm.
It's got a good cast and a good premise, but yeah, it's just not there.
Am I correct in that this is basically the Damage Control series we wanted from Marvel?
And part of the problem is that you just look at how much better Damage Control would be.
So it's more of like a it's Wayne Enterprises, and they create gadgets for the regular folks to protect them against the superhuman folks. So things like an umbrella that will protect you against falling debris that doesn't collapse under its own weight or whatever.
Okay.
That kind of thing. A early warning system for when bad guys are in the area.
And that would be the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Those kind of things. And Alan Tudyk, who I adore, is being Alan Tudyk, sort of somewhere between his con man persona and Steve the Pirate, somewhere in there. And he's fine. I mean, it's just in general, it seems the whole series is hollow.
Exactly. It feels like it's next door to being good, but it is definitely next door.
Yeah. Like I'm still watching Legends of Tomorrow, even though that's
Turning into
suffering.
a pile of shit.
Yeah, they're losing the fight. I've always spoken about it as a fight between the cast and the scripts, and they're losing.
And Flash just seems to get better and better, by the way.
I'm watching.
I guess I need to try it again.
I'm about 3/4 away through the first season. I just recently started watching it, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it gets better the further along you get in that show. Everyone starts to find their characters. It's definitely, it's weird because unlike Shield, who will find its Agents of Shield, who will find its rhythm about halfway through every season. Basically, it seems like they forget who the characters are for the first half of the season, and then remember who they are in the second half of the season. In this case, for Flash, it seems like they were finding them out very beginning, and then after that, nobody forgot. It's been pretty solid from there. And I'll even admit to watching Riverdale, by the way.
Oh,
So,
how
judge me if you will.
is that? No. How is it?
It is Twin Peaks meets Archie meets it's I enjoy it for what it is. Let's put it that way. I enjoy it for its meets 90210, I guess, sort of. Well, ironically, because Luke Perry is also on it.
Okay.
It's fun to watch. It's got a nice everyone is very I don't want to say truthful to the Archie characters, because the reality is that they aren't. And in fact, actually, Sonia last night was saying, outside of Betty and Veronica, none of these characters seem to be like they're happy people. Like Jughead is not happy. In fact, actually, the episode I just watched, she said they were talking about being bullied or whatever, and Jughead goes, well, what do you know about it or whatever? Something like, my name is Jughead. So it's a dark. It's dark. I mean, it starts off with a murder. I mean, the whole thing's about a murder of one of the Blossoms, and I won't. This is not too much of a spoiler because it's in the first episode. And Archie is sleeping with his teacher.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And he's in 10th grade. He's supposed to be a sophomore, by the way, and no, does not look anything like a sophomore. I mean, you kind of suspend reality around these kind of things, but
Right.
But it's a really good show. I think it's really good. I mean, the storyline is very, soap opera-esque, but from a just, watching it, it's got a nice bit of twists and turns. It's got a nice little seedy underbelly, like sort of, and it's got some sort of mystery, sort of like if R.L. Stine wrote Twin Peaks, I guess is what I'm really looking for, because there's a bunch of strange characters, but they're all sort of familiar.
Right. So, my question would be: do they use the fact that they're the Archie characters, or is this simply? Oh, let's write this weird teen murder thing and throw Riverdale on top of it?
They throw the archetypes of Archie and Jughead and Betty and Veronica, especially Betty and Veronica, onto this thing.
Okay.
There've been a couple of in recent history. There have been a couple of Archie universe weird things that have been going on. I mean, the Punisher visited.
Yeah.
There for
did he fight? Didn't Predator show up at one point or something?
Yeah, and Archie was killed at one point.
Oh yes, they had
he lived in heaven or
zombie.
something. It was sort of,
the zombie series. Yeah.
Well, the Afterlife with Archie, yeah, which I was about to say, if I haven't talked to you guys about, what I was gonna in a second, because goddamn that series,
it was good.
It's fucking amazing, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, well, so I mean, that's my point, is that the Archie universe has sort of been maturing, if you will, with the day. It's weird because it's obviously 2017, but it still has that 1950s, 1940s, sort of feel to the town. Right. But it's modern. So I mean, it's this weird blend of Archie and modern day, and still a small town thing, but and Betty loves Archie and Veronica loves Archie, but Betty and Veronica are good friends, but they're, the original frenemies, if you will. But it's they do use the characters, and it is Riverdale. It's just they've basically said what would happen to Archie if real life happened to them, type thing. So that's how it's applied. And and then Archie is still a goody good, except for the fact that he's sleeping with his he's sleeping with his really hot teacher, super hot. Way too hot. And actually, if you look at them next to each other, they're age appropriate, but until you know that they're different ages. So Archie Afterlife.
Yeah, Afterlife with Archie is a way more brilliant series than it should be. Again, it plays with the archetypes of the characters and just fills it in a way that is just brilliant. I mean, again, this spoilery, but this is all the first episode because this is the first issue because this is what sets it up. But Jughead's dog, Hot Dog, gets hit by a car, and so Jughead takes Hot Dog's corpse, or what he thinks is just hurt, to Sabrina the Teenage Witch to see if there's anything she can do to help. He's too far gone. Sabrina can't stand to see her friend hurt, so she reads from the Necronomicon to bring the dog back to life.
Nice.
At which point the dog bites Jughead, and Jughead becomes patient zero of the zombie apocalypse.
Nice.
And it's again, like you're saying, it plays with the archetypes, but it's written more in horror mythology. I mean, it brings in zombie stuff, Lovecraft stuff, as well as it's the first time I've read the relationship between Betty and Veronica in a way that it made sense of why they feel the way they do about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, anyway,
because they secretly love each other in a way that I want to imagine.
Sure.
Okay,
but
good.
But it's also one of those things that the series has been around for a couple of years, but they only put out an issue when they're ready. So even though it's been around for like 3 or 4 years, there's only like 10 issues.
Oh, so it's still continuing then?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought they had already ended it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
So
There you go. I want to see that, like Walking Dead, where they're planning 300 issues of that.
Yeah.
Start to spill over into other cartoons, other kids' comics. That'd be great. Oh my God, not Heathcliff!
The thing is, I think they could make this run for a while though, because like I said, in the 10 issues, roughly a year has passed, and it works.
Yeah, I've been meaning to look at that. I'll have to now. It slipped off the radar.
And this was something I was going to probably throw into as a recommendation, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to stick around too long. But have you seen Train to Busan?
what?
No, what is it?
Train to Busan is a Korean zombie flick.
Oh, okay.
And elevator pitch. A train full of people is getting ready to go with you're focused on this this father and child, and right as the train is about to pull off, someone sick walks on the train.
Huh. So
it really works.
So they lock everybody on the train?
Well, the train's moving. So yeah, it's like one of those. It's like a bullet train. So they're on a bullet train with sick people, and it goes. It's not like it's confined. It's not like it's Snakes on a Plane confined, but it is a really, really smart film.
And I take it this must be near real time or something like that, or because a bullet train, it's going to get to the next station pretty quick, right?
Yeah, I mean it's
Thus the word bullet.
Yeah, but it's it moves along at story pace. So to say it's real time, I don't know. I'm not good at, but it's not one that's like it's 3 days later or anything.
Okay,
like
that's
that.
what I was trying to get at. They weren't
Yeah.
okay. So it's within the duration of like a regular train trip type thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because then you can have Snowpiercer, the zombie edition.
Yes, exactly.
They're making that a TV series.
Hello. What?
Yeah.
A Snowpiercer TV series.
Yes. I'm double checking my maybe I dreamt it. Hold on.
No, I'm seeing it right here.
I recently read the comic.
This is from. How is the comic?
I didn't care for it.
Did you?
The movie's great.
Did you see the film?
Oh yeah, no, the film's great, and because knowing that we're probably even this year going to get to that on Aaron and my the movie podcast, but because of that, I was like, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to read this, and it just all of the social commentary that the film does so beautifully is just not there.
Huh.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of it there, but there's that whole the beautiful thing of like each car being like one step up until you get into ridiculously opulent. Yeah, in the comic, there's only 3 classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And you don't have Tilda Swinton.
you don't have Tilda Swinton. You don't have that great monologue about eating babies.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah, you don't.
That's not in the comic. That's not in the comic.
That's not in the comic.
Holy
You do
shit.
not have Captain America talking about eating babies.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah, the
film was-
anti-hero speech. The anti-hero speech, which is one of the most amazing things I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
And of course, you don't have the classroom scene either, and so that's a shame.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of like
Be the shoe.
where I have said that every and I've heard different pronunciations. I've heard it's pronounced Miller. I've heard it's pronounced Millar, but Mark Miller. Every time they make a film of his comics, the movie's better than his comics. Logan included. Logan, all the Wolverine you wanted, and less inbred Hulks. But yeah, so that's kind of what they did with Snowpiercer. They took the general idea and went, hey, this is an interesting idea. Let's make a good story out of it.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So the last date
Well,
I
it's like
find for the Snowpiercer news is from November 22nd of last year. So not too long ago, but a pilot was ordered. So
that I'm like, I mean, again, it's like 12 Monkeys, where originally I'm like, how the fuck does that become a series? But the first season was great.
Right.
Everyone should watch the first season and then stop.
was there not a second season?
There is.
Are you
There
sure?
absolutely is.
Was it the same?
No, there is. What's that?
Was it the same show or was it some other show?
Oh, no, it's the same show. Absolutely the same show. Same people doing it.
But there are shows like, say, Twin Peaks, where you're like, we have a great idea for a show, for a season. And then they make a second season, and you go, yeah, we whiffed it all in the first season.
Well, now they're trying to go back and fix everything, I guess, with the Showtime series.
But it's been long enough now that I think they probably have a new idea, so it'll probably be fun.
Nice.
What I understand is, and I never finished watching the Twin Peaks, even the first season, and nor did I watch the movie. My understanding, though, is that the movie wasn't too bad either.
Yeah,
Fire Walk With Me wasn't too bad.
never watched Twin Peaks.
No, it wasn't bad. It was not bad.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah, but the 12 Monkeys, watch the first season.
All right,
That's
so
all.
watch the second season of 12 Monkeys, but don't watch the first one.
No.
I'm watching the second season first.
Watch the
No!
second season of it right after you finish the second season of True Detective.
Oh God.
two shows I
No.
but I'm just
There's
gonna make that.
There's an idea for a podcast series. Things that suck the second time. The sophomore podcast. There you go.
Yeah.
One idea wonders.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. That.
The second season of The Following.
Yep. Second season of Dexter. What else?
I thought Dexter was okay for a while.
Third, fourth, maybe the fourth season. Yeah.
See, for me, it fell apart when he had to start pretending he was a drug addict.
Well, fair
The
enough.
girlfriend, and it's like, no, that character would not still be with him if she just got done with a drug addict.
Actually, if you really wanted to have the real pot boiler podcast, what you would do is you would pick a topic and then you would have a bunch of geeks decide when it started to suck.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Because you'd always have the one guy, never was good.
Right, or you'd have the
None
one
of it was
person, you'd have the person, usually me, going, I liked it to the end. But then you'd have people going, no, the Buffy started sucking after the third episode of this.
Yeah,
I got to
second season
tell
of
you,
Deadwood.
I gotta tell you, I've started rewatching Buffy from the very beginning. That first, and talking about this, that first season is rough to get through.
So bad. And so the first season of Buffy and the first season of Star Trek The Next Generation have episodes that I will never watch if I'm ever, because like Elizabeth hasn't seen Star Trek Next Generation. So we're going to go through that eventually. But I've promised her we will skip the Wesley Steps on a Flower episode.
Yeah.
Because fuck that episode.
But it gave us Will Wheaton.
Will was around before that and after that, but the Wesley Steps on a Flower episode is the absolute worst. And
let's be honest, most of Wesley's episodes were pretty bad.
I'm for the most part I'm pro Wesley, but not that one. And the first season of Buffy has the hyena episode, and I will never fucking watch that episode again.
What was it? What was the one I just watched that was horrible? Oh crap, I can't even remember because I've been sitting through it, watching it, and with my son, though he doesn't know that he's been watching it with me. He's in the room and he's observing it and he's watching it, but he doesn't realize that I'm waiting for him to continue to watch it. It's funny because he likes Doctor Who. I hate Doctor Who. Let me rephrase that. I don't hate Doctor Who. I've never.
Despise Doctor Who.
I just wish it would die. That's all. No,
It will, and then it comes back, and then it dies and comes back.
just stay dead. I've never been a Doctor Who fan.
Sure.
But a lot of the first season has that feel, that Doctor Who feel, and it could just be that the monsters are all sort of, very not as realistic as they get later. The whole master storyline is sort of weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not, and not well thought out. Oh, it was the one where they got the anointed one. That's what it was. That's what I just watched. And I was like, okay. It just didn't make any, I don't know.
However, the anointed one eventually, spoilers if you haven't watched early Buffy, but the anointed storyline I love.
In the 20 years you've had to do that.
Yeah, but the anointed one storyline I love just because they build him up to be something and then they just throw him away.
Right. Yeah.
And that's part of what makes that show work. It's like, this is the most important thing you'll ever see, and fuck it.
Well, that can truly be, that can be done very well, and it can be done very poorly.
Yes.
I remember there was a what was it? The Dean Koontz book, which is like, if you're the biggest dog fan in the world, you would love it. Not Strangers. Watchers, I think. Got an intelligent dog in it. There's also some weird, inexplicable assassin who can basically like eat your life force or something when he killed. I don't even remember, but he was
Drink
this
short
big deal,
milkshake.
and he showed up. He basically showed up and was, just killed. Just like it's over. I'm like, whoa, no, wait a minute. You built that up. That needed to be more than that. Oh, you bastards.
Right. Well, I never really got over Scatman Crothers just getting thrown out in The Shining. That always pissed me off.
You know what I watched yesterday and fell asleep to, and then continued to watch for some inexplicable reason? Congo.
Oh wow.
My God, that's a horrible movie.
It really is.
And
That's
yet
something I've
I
not thought about
continue,
in a long
and
time.
yet I continued to watch it.
Why? Why did you
I
do
don't
that?
know. Even Tim
Why?
Curry couldn't save that damn film.
Basically, you stop watching it around the time Bruce Campbell disappears.
It's wait, was Bruce Campbell in that?
He's in like the first 30 seconds.
Oh, that's what. Okay, because I tuned in just as they were acquiring the first plane to fly to Africa. So I sort of missed the setup, but I don't think that mattered. Where we're kind of introduced to I forget. Oh, to the CIA / big company operative chick lady, and a laser. We just happen to have a laser. Now, first of all, let me ask you this question: the guy that dies, that's dead that she's going to save the whole entire time, he had the laser with him, didn't he? Because she took it off of him. So
I have not seen that film in so long.
Why?
I don't even remember.
And then. And honestly, would you really, in a Titanic-esque moment, would you really throw the diamond away at the end? I mean, even. And by the way, those were the worst imitation diamonds I've ever seen in my life. And their set pieces made absolutely no sense. They were like, they would move from one scene to another scene, and I was like, how these things don't go together? I'm not sure how you got from one to the other. Ugh. God, I'm so
One
mad
of
at that
these
movie
things
now.
is not like the other.
I went through for a while. I went through a big Crichton phase and just read a shit ton of Crichton, and then made the mistake of. Well, and then when I was done, I was done. But then I made the mistake of, while I was in that phase, of watching a couple of movies based on Crichton books that were not named Jurassic Park, and just don't.
Or Westworld.
Or Westworld, yeah.
I guess he didn't actually write a book on Westworld. He just made the movie, or wrote the movie, or whatever.
Right. But they,
yeah. Was Congo actually a good book?
Congo I didn't read, but I did read.
I mean, it has to be better than the movie, right?
It has to be. But I mean, I did read the one. I can't remember the name of the film or the book right now, which is bothering me. But it's his time travel book where a bunch of people go back to like medieval Timeline had my absolute favorite discovery of a time machine.
Okay.
But it's just a simple thing, but it's that they didn't actually build a time machine. They discovered the science that would make time travel happen, and a time travel machine appeared.
Oh, that's
Okay.
interesting.
Well, I wonder if that's where that came from, because I have heard that before. Is that once there's a theory in which you have to have the technology about time travel, and once that happens, all these time machines will show up, because if they go back before then, they'll basically cease to exist because the technology doesn't exist.
Right.
And if you have it, even if you haven't put it together, the assumption is you will put it together sometime in the future. So why waste your time putting it together?
But then Timeline made a stupid ass movie, and then didn't bother to put that one cool aspect in it.
Well, you've got the Making History sitcom on Fox, where the time machine's a duffel bag. So, Yeah.
What?
It was actually pretty funny, but no, okay. So Fox on their Sunday night programming now has a show. There's only been one episode so far aired, but where this guy, his dad had invented a time machine, and he put it inside of a duffel bag, and literally it's the duffel bag. It's this huge, human-sized duffel bag, and you get in it, zip it up, and then you go to the past. And he's been going back to Revolutionary wartime, and of course he's screwed up the timeline, but not really. It's just a comedy. It's pretty funny. It's
Did he screw things up to the point of where we have Russia in the White House?
Hey!
we could blame him, probably. Yes. No, he was freaking out because he came back to regular time, to current day, and Starbucks was putting out a sign. They got people at Starbucks putting out a sign that said, tea on sale or whatever, which would be like a regular one that you would see at Starbucks. But of course, he assumed that the British had taken over, had won the war.
Oh,
So
nice.
then he drags this professor back in time with him, who happens to be a black man, and of course that goes exactly how you'd expect. Except then they flash forward to the future, and he had actually saved the Revolutionary War. It's just pretty funny.
So they do acknowledge the fact that time travel is strictly a white person fantasy.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Right. Well, I don't know if you watched the NBC series where they traveled. I forget what it was called.
Timeless?
Timeless, yes, which was actually good, but then I stopped watching it for some reason. I don't know why. Not because it wasn't good. I don't know. It just dropped off my DVR or something. I don't know what happened. It got canceled, maybe. I don't know. But no, it did a great job with time travel. But one of the things was, of course, their pilot was African American, and he's like, there is literally nowhere I can go in time where I will not be hated. I like being here. Please, can we just stay here?
That's pretty great.
They travel to Nazi Germany. He's like, okay, fine, sure. So, yeah. So that's that. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I think Jurassic Park is no, I read Lost World too, unfortunately. But no, I think Jurassic Park is the only Crichton I read.
Lost World, the book wasn't awful. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. The movie was
Worse.
Yeah.
But not as bad as Jurassic Park 3.
This is true. This is very true.
Jurassic Park 3. So before Jurassic World came out, we decided we were going to watch our way through the Jurassic Park movies again, because we were like, we haven't watched these in a long time, and we only saw 3 at the theater, and we haven't watched it since. So when we were, we watched 1, and we we're like, hey, yeah, this still holds up. It's fun. We watched 2, and we we're like, yeah, that movie's not as great. We watched 3, and at one point, I made a hand fart noise. When you put your 2 hands together and squeeze them, and makes a little hand fart noise. And my girlfriend was like, I've never been able to do that. So we paused the film. And I tried to teach my girlfriend how to make a hand fart noise, and we spent about 45 minutes doing that. And we were like, we should probably finish the film. Went to restart it, and the film was like 2 minutes away from being over. We were in the climax of the film. We were more interested in how to make hand fart noises than the actual film that was going on.
That's fantastic. That is so good.
And then,
Wow.
and then we watched Jurassic World, and I kind of liked it, but the more I thought about it, the more troubling it became.
It is, it's a fun watch. It's not as fun
fun,
at home.
yeah.
It doesn't hold up at home. It holds up better in the movie theater where it's nice and big and loud and sort of, just, check your mind at the door type thing.
Yeah.
What really hurts, and so if you guys, everybody out there listening, if you don't want to be ruined on creature features, don't do this. But really hurts films like that is I made the mistake of, like, one weekend when I was kind of sick, having a double feature of Jaws and then Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch those two films close to each other like that, you understand what Spielberg learned while making Jaws that makes Jurassic Park work. I mean, you can see the ingredients of the gumbo. And once you can see what the simple things that he does that makes that kind of stuff work, it kind of you notice when they don't bother doing that with other creature features.
Now, did you say that you saw Kong or no?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to it, but I I have issues with the so Regal is the main theater chain here.
Yeah.
I have real issues with them in the fact that they don't their screens are really dim. They to save money on the bulbs, they don't go full brightness. They don't do anything to police their audiences. They're way more expensive than the other theaters in town. We are lucky enough in this town to have independent theaters that are just infinitely better. And Kong's not showing at any of those, so I'm pouting.
Is it a case where they will eventually wind up there, or no?
What if I wait a little bit? It'll go to the dollar theaters.
And the dollar theaters do a better job of policing their audience?
Believe it or not, in this town, yes.
Wow.
Because it's most of the dollar theaters here are designed to basically they show movies, but they are designed to be places to give you pizza and beer. And so they are they're better behaved, whereas the Regals here are where people drop off their kids to ignore them for a while. And so
Skater punks, is that what's going on?
Yeah, you'll see. I mean, last time I went to a Regal theater, there was literally in the middle of the film a child running up and down the aisle screaming.
Holy fuck.
And I was like, what the hell? And you go to talk to a manager and they're like,
were
what
you
are
at
we
Chucky?
supposed to do? What?
You weren't watching Chucky, were you?
No.
Okay. Maybe,
but it's been a while.
What's going on?
It's been a while.
I know weed's legal there, so I didn't know. Maybe that you forgot what you were watching.
I'm actually trying to apply for a job where I would get randomly tested, so I am clean as a whistle.
Oh wow, really? They have those.
Yeah, because it's still
federally illegal. Yeah. And by the way, that don't look so promising that that's going to change anytime soon. In fact, it may go the other way.
Well, again, we don't know what's going to happen, but I did see right before I signed on that Rachel Maddow has announced that she's got his tax returns. So we'll see what.
Well, she's dead.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
she'll be dead before the day's out.
I really, really hope that she's wearing like bulletproof clothing and only uses her own utensils in public.
I was watching her yesterday, and I'm not a big Rachel Maddow fan, and I don't typically watch a lot of political shows like that, talking head type stuff. But she was raising some very other than John Oliver, of course. You got to watch John Oliver.
Well, yeah.
So, what do you call it? She was bringing up some of the ties of Trump to these various organizations where, weirdly, people that were rejected from getting buying, for example, buying this hotel, the Chinese government from buying this hotel that happens to literally be next door to a naval base, because they have some limitations on what who should own those kinds of properties near those kind of facilities, weirdly is now able to do that. Yeah. At the same time, one of the owners of said Chinese organization bought a house from Trump's family for like twice the amount that he paid for it just a year prior. Weird.
Yeah, I do like Rachel Maddow, and I tend to I play Rachel Maddow in the shower. So there you go. I'll play clips on my phone while I'm in the shower.
Oh, I thought you meant you were acting out.
Yeah.
Maddow.
You're patting down your hair, getting it all nice and tight. I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll be like, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rachel Maddow." Yes. I'll play Goodbye Horses and Tuck.
But no, it's very scary where we're at right now.
Yep.
And especially the order that and I'm believing it's accurate since it was on the whitehouse.gov site. Basically it's just saying, yeah, we're going to reorganize all of the government.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. So, the corporate baron who's probably used to reorganizing his company which typically means, firing everybody, is, doing that. And they also made the point last night too. I don't know how we got to political, but eventually we always will. Is the firing of all of the federal prosecutors all at the same time. Now, they did point out that it's not unusual that they do, sift them out. But the point is that typically it's a longer game, right? So you eventually because you got to have people to replace them. You got to have people in place. Right now, there's like this whole missing. All these prosecutors are gone because he can do that. And weirdly, he was also being investigated at the same time by
one of them.
The same said federal. Well, at least we know of at least one. But
yeah.
This is also the first time that they have. I mean, because like Clinton released all of Bush's judges. So I mean, yeah, it's not completely unprecedented. But when Clinton did it as well, there were certain judges that stayed on even after they were told to resign, still stayed on for up to 6 months or more because they finished the cases they were working on. They were not told that they had to leave their office by end of day.
Right. Yeah.
So it's still record breaking.
Well, it's a new way of governing.
Or not. Yeah. Or not governing.
Or, yeah. It's called, seat of your pants governing. Whatever I think of tweeting that day, it's Fox News governing. That's what we're going to call it.
It's funny in a way though, because the line of what made someone quote unquote progressive or liberal or whatever word you want to make it, that line has moved so far right.
Yep.
There's swaths of people that never would have said to like, oh yeah, I am a liberal, I'm a progressive, but that all of a sudden have just sort of like not necessarily recharacterized themselves, but have just found that tarp has been put over them because you have to.
Me. That's me.
Yeah, and much like Widge, I fancy myself a Republican, but
not anymore. You don't.
Well, yeah, no. I again, it's in the same way that which I mean would be called a libertarian, but even then that sounds bad. Where I don't, I just want people to use the money correctly, and it doesn't mean stop supporting those that need it. Right. It just means use it. Because sometimes and I kick myself for this because sometimes Trump will say something that I'm going, well, yeah, I actually agree with that when, he's yelling at Boeing for being too expensive for, the same plane or my problem is him calling out a particular industry, which then, of course, raises and lowers stock prices. Yeah. But I agree. Yeah. If the plane is like obviously doesn't cost that much to make and yet you're gouging the government because you can, that's wrong. So yes, I agree with those kind of things that yes. Use the money effectively and wisely. On the other the other side of me though is like, if you want to marry a guy, if you want to marry a goat, even the traditional, hey, they're going to marry goats. I don't give a shit. That's your problem, not my problem.
As
long
long
as
as
you-
you
as
got a
long
way
as-
that the goat gives consent.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely, and is of age for a goat, and I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
but
But
hey, as long as it's not a kid, hey,
yeah, and you know,
thank you.
exactly. It's just yeah. It's so just be good people is all I'm asking people to do, and be
Right.
use common sense.
Well-
But this guy is just I don't know. Okay, so I got these two. I go to the gym pretty much every day, every weekday, right? And there's these two guys that always come in right as I'm leaving. Which I mean, I guess I should try and go in a little earlier so my blood pressure doesn't rise as they're leaving. They are two. There's no better way of saying it. Rednecks that come in and they're constantly talking about how wonderful Trump is. And the other day, I was getting off of the elliptical, and they were getting on it at the same time. And this was last Friday. It had to be Friday because they were talking about the cold front that was about to come through, in the snowstorm and blah blah blah. And they go, well, see, Trump was right. Global warming is a myth. This is all just a myth. It's freezing. It can't be global warming. And I just say as I pass by, I go, that's weather, you idiot, not climate change. And I just kept moving on. I was like, you don't get it. You just don't get it. Yeah. Yes, and I was even if you don't get that part. Do you think it's normal? Because by the way, I'm here in Tampa. It is the middle of March. And guess what? It's going to be 2 degrees off of freezing tonight. That makes no sense.
Mm-mm.
It makes no sense. So even if you don't think, even if you can't understand the concept of weather versus climate change, understand that the climate has changed. That it's freaking freezing in March in
Right.
in Florida.
And I really don't understand how, again, like you were saying, I am a like Bernie Sanders liberal. So I mean, but
Bernie Sanders isn't left enough for you.
in some aspects, yeah. But yet I will also say that, there are things that Trump has said that I also can, this burns my mouth to say, but I do agree with, if a company that is supposed to be a United States company is manufacturing goods outside of the United States, yes, charge them extra to get their goods in the United States because they shouldn't have fucking left to begin with.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
bear in mind they're not going to actually be charging the company.
Oh, I know. It
Because-
still comes back to us. Yeah.
The company will pass it on. So
Right. I just mean there should be more incentives to. I'm also I'm also not a fan of NAFTA. I do believe that jobs should be encouraged to stay in the country, but now I got a little distracted because I said that I agreed with that orange fucker. Oh no, I was going to say, but I also don't understand how the party of Reagan, of Saint Reagan, is. And there are still a lot of Reagan Republicans alive in this world. How are they okay with this many ties to another country? Obvious ties to Russia.
That makes no sense to me either. None of that makes any sense to me. How we are so, even though I guess lately publicly he's been trying to say, oh, Russia's be bad, but we all know what you're saying. You're just doing that to cover your ass.
and we don't know what you're saying because, as has been pointed out, are we supposed to take you literally this time? Or are we supposed to read what's in your heart this time? I can't. Can you just give us a hand signal? Is there a hand signal that we can have just to know what we're supposed to be fucking doing?
Which the best part is that even his own people don't know what the hell he's saying.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And that's the thing too about the thing to remember if you feel bad about agreeing with Trump is that he'll say fucking anything, and
true.
he doesn't understand it half the time, and B is just fucking saying it the other half of the time. So he could be spouting, me, do unto others, you have them do unto you, and you wouldn't feel bad about it because you know he's full of shit.
Yeah.
He's so full of shit.
And I think it was Trevor Noah that was talking about it after the wiretapping scandal came out. And you're like, you are the president. How can you be a conspiracy theorist?
All conspiracies end with you.
You are the man.
That's
You can't walk around in your tinfoil hat because you're the one sending the brain waves.
Oh God, that
That's
is
pretty
so
good.
annoying.
But
How
hey,
did we get here?
it's so
I
hard
don't know.
not to.
I know it's partly my state's fault, but I will again we'll say this again. My county was blue. It was like one of the only few blue counties in the state of Florida.
As my friend Jason and I talked about on our podcast a long time ago, it is kind of interesting that we both live in states that were called the second the polls closed. You know, because he's in Mississippi, and the second the polls closed, they're like red Trump. And the second they've closed in Oregon, they were like, it was Clinton. So yeah, it was like not even it's like 2% of the vote in. We're fine. We know. Don't even worry about it.
It would have really freaked everybody out though if it went the other way, wouldn't it have?
Yeah.
Well, see, Oregon has the mail vote, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, by MAIL, not MALE.
right. The one that they're trying to keep out of, I can't remember what state it is.
New Hampshire, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. But vote by mail is great. You get your ballot like a week beforehand. You get a booklet that has all of the all of the measures and things, and so you can vote. For one thing, like this last time, I think it took me almost 2 hours to fill out the ballot because we had so many different measures and stuff that you're able to do your due diligence and be an informed voter, and it's really quite nice.
Well, and the other thing is that Russia can't hack that.
Yeah.
Yet.
Look, we
Did you say
got
yet.
yeah
Yes.
until they own the USPTS, Post Service, USPS. That's what it is, United States Post Service.
That too.
I served as a poll worker when they announced here in Florida that they were going to do electronic balloting, because I knew I'd seen some of the poll workers that had volunteered, and I knew that this was probably a place that I should go and make sure that things don't get too fucked up. And I gotta tell you, they aren't very secure. The whole system is not very secure at all. It very well could say whatever the hell it fucking wants to inside of those machines. It's ridiculous. We did get rid of them several years later because it was as typically it is in government. We had the 2000 election. It was 2000, right? That was the Bush Gore.
Yeah.
One.
The chats.
Yeah. So of course everyone immediately said, "Well, we got to go buy a different set of voting, not fix the current one that we have, and maybe educate some people. We gotta go and get new voting system because that certainly won't cause any confusion." Then we jumped to that platform, and of course it died about 5 years after that, which is then when I stopped volunteering again, because I was like, okay, well, I want to make sure that I could at least say that I know at least this one nobody was dorking around with.
Right.
These 5 that I had here in front of me, I don't know what happened after he left. I can tell you what the printout said. I don't know if it's right. It could have been anything.
Yeah, but vote by mail is the best. So, there's a couple. I think Oregon has it. And I think there's one other state that has it now that they just adopted it in the last couple of years. But yeah, it is. It's something that I definitely wish. It also encourages a much higher voter turnout, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Right, because everyone can just stay at home and do it.
Yeah, they say it leans left, but you wouldn't. How would you know that here?
Right. Well, it leans left, but it leans left where? In the states that they issue it, which is Oregon.
Well, yeah, but they say part of the reason they were trying to not do it in whatever state it is, they say that especially right now, they're saying high voter turnout in anything leans left, but they say in general high voter turnout tends to lean slightly left.
You think that's true now? Wait till 2018.
Let's hope.
It either that or it'll I don't know. Worst case scenarios do still blast through my head, so we'll see.
Well, Trump could decide that elections are not necessary anymore.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and eliminate the election services.
I'd like to think that the people are still strong enough to stand up to that, but there's when there are things that are being dismantled so quickly, it's crazy. The fact that we don't really have a State Department right now, we don't really have a legal system. It's absolutely fucking insane.
And sometimes I think to myself, I really have myself to blame for this because
I was blaming you too, John. Now that you mentioned it, just the other day, I was like, God damn it, why did John do this?
There's a banner on Burnside. I was going to work today, and there's a banner on Burnside Drive with your face on it, and I wasn't going to tell you. This guy.
This guy.
Well, I've always said that I wanted to see a non-politician business owner, someone who's been successful running the country. What I forgot to mention was A, an intelligent one, but B, someone who didn't call all the shots. Again, I'll go back to the example I like to use is Bill Gates. I would like to see Bill Gates running the country because he knows what it's like to have to answer to people.
Right. But you also said successful.
Right. Yeah, that's
that is true. That's very true.
I think you're off the hook. So
yeah. Sorry to steal your thunder there.
No. Hey, it's one of those things where it's like, well, it's so obvious.
Yeah, you wanted Bill
Anyone can grab that one.
You wanted Bill Gates, but you got P.T. Barnum. Sorry.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, no. Again, Barnum was a successful businessman.
But he was also a huckster.
Oh, he was a huckster, but he was at least a successful huckster. Yeah. Basically, you could show Trump the sign, "Come see the egress," and he would be like, "Oh."
It's the Royal Nonsuch.
Nonsuch.
I wasn't sure if you knew that musical.
Oh yeah.
I was actually in the first regional production of that show.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Are you doing any shows now?
No. About around Thanksgiving. I guess it's been a little over a year now. So it was last Thanksgiving. One of my closest friends and the producer to our theater company died. Yeah, and it sort of took.
Tough.
Well, it took the joy out of it, but it also took the money out of it.
Oh, okay.
So the big thing is that it is tough and it's hard for when all of us get together. We end up just talking about our friend John who passed, but there's also the fact that if you look at the nuts and the bolts of it, he had money and we don't.
Yeah.
And which means he could pay for rights and he could rent a theater. I mean, we always made our investment back.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to have that initial investment to get it back. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
But I have faith it will happen again, and it will happen again sooner rather than later.
And your job you're applying for, is this a step up or?
Let's just say I'm not really wanting to talk about it too much, but it would be a huge step up.
Okay,
I
cool.
would talk about it to you in person, but I'm not willing to talk about it on a digitally recorded method.
So you're gonna. Well, that's okay because this won't come out for like 12 years from now. So
yeah,
basically, but because he's afraid a microwave might be listening.
Yes, exactly.
So you are going to work for Kellyanne Conway then?
Yes.
Oh Jesus!
Somehow I imagine this is a really obscure technology, and if nobody remembers this, that's fine. But did you guys ever see, for a little while in the 90s, there was like a video camera that recorded on cassette tape?
Yep. Yep.
I just kind of figured, as soon as I heard about a microwave, I just kind of figured it being that kind of image. I don't know why.
Nice.
Grainy, but still kind of cool looking. Well, on that little obscurity, I should probably head out. So it's been lovely talking to you guys, and hopefully my Tuesdays won't destroy again, and I can come by more often.
Awesome.
Go
All right.
play with your Teddy Ruxpin.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, man.
More
Oh.
cassette technologies. Remember when cassette technologies were the bomb?
Oh God, dude. Yeah.
Remember when you could back up your Commodore 64 on a cassette?
Well, see, having
Actually,
parents
that
that worked for
was-
IBM, I
Sinclair.
went straight from I was always floppies, basically. In
I
fact,
was
what
actually
was
thinking
it?
of the Sinclair anyway, but yeah.
What was it? The Vernon Reed, the guitarist for Living Color. I follow him
Yeah.
on Twitter, and he was like, so what is it? What is the something that if you try to explain it to someone who is like under the age of 20 right now, they would have a lot of trouble understanding it. And I just grabbed one of my old. I could not find one of my 8-inch floppies, which I still have a couple of. So I just grabbed one of my 5 1/4-inch floppies and held it up, and it was just like, put succinctly, and then a picture.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you think about it, even CD-ROM at this point is
Sort of a exactly.
sort of on the way out.
Oh, Commodore. Actually, yeah, the Commodore 64 did have a tape backup.
Oh, it did. I remember. I had a friend who had a Commodore 64 and would play games off of cassette tape.
Okay,
But-
so I wasn't wrong. I did.
No,
I guess I did see it.
you weren't wrong.
But I
just-
was actually thinking of the Sinclair though. Is actually what I was really thinking
Oh,
of.
okay. Yeah. What? Yeah. With me, it was. We went from typewriters to the display writer to basically PCs. So, and early, like the first no hard drive, like 2 diskette drives. That was it.
Mhm.
And then when we had a 10 meg hard drive, we're like, holy fuck, 10 meg?
Yeah,
Those were the days.
yeah. So I was backing up the 20 terabyte database today. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to go out and buy another 5 terabyte drive because I just ran out. I'm like, what happened?
Well, I mean, these switching out all those cassette tapes all day long for the 20 terabyte, it was ridiculous.
Oh, dude, we used to, before we had an image, like an image to just blast onto a PC, you'd have to load everything. You just have to load everything, right? And so like load a Smart Suite was like 28 diskettes. So you'd see, you'd walk into the little, bullpen area for the IT folks, and you'd see somebody just like nodding off in the chair. Beep, wake up, pull the one diskette out, put the next diskette in, tilt the head back, fall asleep again. All the fucking time.
And thus the inspiration for Lost was born.
Yes, absolutely. So we should probably just do recommendations and run away, because
Yeah, I'm gonna recommend Rampage for the Commodore 64. No, I'm just kidding. Did they have that? It looks like they did have a version of Rampage for Commodore 64.
I don't even remember any of the games.
There's no way that that's true. It can't be. You remember what Rampage was, right? It was in the arcade.
The arcade was the King, like the giant, the giant kaiju, basically.
Yeah, and
destroying
you're
buildings.
destroying buildings and eating people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah.
It was very cathartic.
I was just looking at images of the tape backup system for Commodore 64, and an image of a Rampage on cassette came up, but that can't be possible. There's no. Oh, it was a Super 64. Is that
Yeah,
right?
so there was basically ASCII characters.
Rampage for 64 128. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and recommend that.
Okay.
That and let's see, what else can I recommend? Night Moves for Commodore 64. basically Commodore 64. Does Amazon sell Commodore 64s? They have to, right? They sell everything else.
You know, there's probably a Commodore 64 that's in a cassette tape. The entire thing fits into a cassette tape. Would not be
Let's see.
surprised in the least.
Commodore 64. Activision's Commodore 64 15 pack. Blindly, I'm just going to go ahead and recommend this. It is $8.99 on Amazon plus $5 shipping. Sorry, no Prime available. There is also a Atari flashback system. Sure, I will go ahead and nope. Better yet, the ColecoVision flashback system. I'm going to go ahead and recommend that because nothing says fun quite like playing games on a 10 punch. So, yes, the ColecoVision. It's a Pong controller with a old push button telephone attached.
There is a Commodore 64 for sale on Amazon.
How much?
Starting at $210, basically.
Really? It's $2.10, right? Because there's no way it's $210.
It's $210. Although there is what appears to be a Commodore 64 plug-and-play joystick, one of these joysticks that has the games built into it. So all your 30 Commodore 64 games built into a joystick.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So I recommend those things. And if you're going to buy them, I would say go to needcoffee.com/ what the hell are we buying again? Commodores? I can't believe that. .com.
Yeah, here's the Aliens Commodore 64 game on 5 1/4 inch diskette for $50.
Did you? Okay, so I guess the statute of limitations is over. Did you ever have back in the day little swap meets for swapping software between you and your other? Well, I don't know if you had a Commodore. We discussed this already, but I had a Commodore 64, and there was a ton of meets where you go and again swap those floppies. Or copy somebody's floppy to your floppy, and then you'd have those games. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we had really, those. Not really.
Mine was in a synagogue, so there's that. But go on.
So, but it sounds like doing it there was kosher.
Yes. Well, we would do it on Sundays.
Oh, okay. But no, not really. Because I didn't have the Commodore. I had mostly, the PC, for which there was very little. Microsoft Adventure, and
really isn't Microsoft Adventure all on its own? But anyway, one.
A terrifying one. And the Atari 2600. So, those were the days.
You can get the Atari flashback system for let's see, it'll come up. $55. Let's see how many games does it have on its console? 100 games. Yep, 100 games on the Atari flashback console.
Jesus.
System. Hits including Asteroids, Space Invaders, Centipede. Indy 500, if you remember that.
Yeah.
What is the other one? Oh, let's see if I can get a better picture. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Yeah. So $55. Wow. Buy that at needcoffee.com/Amazon/ retro. It's cool.
Yeah, if that thing has River Raid on it, I'm all over it.
Let's see.
River Raid and what else?
You got the Intellivision flashback system. Wow.
Warlords. That was another good one.
Let's see. Return of Yar's Revenge.
Wow.
Or Yar's Return and Yar's Revenge. Sorry. Aquaventure, Armor, Ambush, Asteroids, Astroblast. Which one did you say? River
Raid. Starts with an R.
QR. Does not look like it has it.
Yeah. Then again, that was not an Atari company game, so maybe there's a separate one from that company. Oh yeah, see, here's Activision. That's what it was.
Oh, was it on the is it on the Activision Retro?
No, I don't know. Is there an Activision Retro?
Yeah, there is. Hold on. Where ColecoVision actually had a knob, Intellivision had that. I was thinking Intellivision. You said Activision.
You can get River Raid free for your Android.
Well, I'm going to get it now.
There you go. So my recommendation, apart from Taboo, which I already mentioned, which is quite good. And I actually started watching The Exorcist, which the first episode of was quite good, unexpectedly so. So I recommend those two things, but I also recommend the latest album from Animal Collective, Painting With, which is kind of like, I would say it's like the Beach Boys, but on ayahuasca. So highly recommended. That's pretty much it. And you're right, John, you can go to needcoffee.com/Amazon and purchase stuff like that, or other weird retro shit that you didn't even know you needed in your life again.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that there as well, apparently. Because if there's a fucking Commodore 64 available, then all bets are off. But yeah, so there you go. Well, no, I think that does it. I think that does it for this episode of Weekend Justice. We've had a revolving door of people coming and going. But
as usual, we're still left standing.
We are. We're still standing. Yeah. No, but I think at this moment, when we're all still standing, as you said, maybe kind of listing off to one side, we should take a moment to just think about what's passed between us all, and simply say the true cause of the Red Wedding: fish.
Fish.
Not a Vagoda, but fish.
I was promised beef. I was served fish.
All must die.
All men must die. But, I'm not a man, so. Oh, wait. Yes, I am.
I have this image of you reaching down and checking and going, oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, well, I forgot. Yeah. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know if the wife still had them or if it was my turn.
Oh, what, you get them on the weekend? What?
Yeah. Well, I'm on PTO for the next couple of days, so spring break. So yeah, I get to enjoy them for a while.
Oh, good.
I mean, not that I do, not that I have been the entire time. I swear.
Yeah.
I don't know why you brought that up. Why are you bringing this? Why do you keep saying this?
No, honey,
I wasn't.
No, honey, he wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing anything. Put that down. Oh God. All right.
Halloween. Okay. All right.
What?
Well, I said there's a River Raid Halloween edition.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
It's by a company called High Games, so
Oh, okay.
that's probably. Ooh, there's an Activision Anthology app. Please fix in. Okay, whatever. All right. Well, that was good.
Yep. Oh, now I gotta go pee.
Oh yeah, me too.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Ben. Bye.